Multiple words, how you just described yourself. No, smooth or slimy.
A judge denied bond for 21-year-old Lontrell Williams, known as Pooh Shiesty. Police say he was performing at King of Diamonds in Miami over Memorial Day weekend when cash was knocked out of his pocket. When the crowd tried to grab it, police say he showed off his gun, and while he was being escorted out of the club, he fired a shot, hitting the guard in the ankle.
Whoa. Whoever knew, hold on, let me see. Whoever knew Pooh Shiesty was out here wilding like this? Cause I swear to God, I didn't know Pooh Shiesty was out here wilding like this, bro. Merce Pooh Shiesty almost got his chain took at a show, up pipe at the show, and shot a security guard at the show. Who knew? And he didn't get arrested for this? Like, bro, what? Like, I ain't being federal. I ain't saying he should have got arrested. You know, I ain't praying jail on. I'm not putting jail on nobody. I'm just saying though, like, that's crazy. Like, I mean, I guess it was self-defense for somebody snatching your chain. I mean, it is your personal belongings. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. This man, is this the most hood motherfucking rapper? Because he was the rapper to get locked up the quickest. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't never seen no rapper get locked up as quick as him, get caught on camera in the act on, bro. And he really locked up. It ain't no getting out. Well, TK, but he did that before. But TK got like 10 different chances. So, man, let's get into the video. Y'all let me know what y'all think, though, man. This shit crazy already.
With aggravated battery.
After pleading guilty to a gun charge in Miami federal.
Pooh Shiesty was facing up to 8 years for that because he did take a plea. And today he was actually sentenced to 63 months in prison. For you slow ones. Hey, yo.
Wait. So he got 63 months? Hold on. What the fuck? I was finna say, it ain't that long. That's like 5 years. Hold on. Because 12, 24, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 64 months. 64 months. Damn. Yeah, that's like 5 years. He got locked up like 2 years ago. So he gonna be getting out soon. Oh, bro. He ain't got that much longer for real.
What's the drill? Back with another video, man. You know Pooh Shiesty has had quite the past couple years. He went from being just another kid on the streets of Memphis to one of the biggest names in the hip-hop industry. His growth had everybody stunned, but then again, he also backed it all up with his...
Y'all, I ain't gonna lie. Now that I think about it, Pooh Shiesty, I might have to make a TikTok video and say rappers that had the biggest blow-ups or something. I'm gonna have to think of a good title and a good hook. But he one of the rappers that blew up the fastest. I'm not gonna lie. Like, rappers always blow up and go crazy, but like, he blew up like a hood rapper. I'm gonna say he the fastest hood rapper to blow up. Like, he had a real big impact and got him some major ass features and had some real hits by himself. Like, he was making a big ass. He would have probably, bro. What if him and Von, have Pooh Shiesty and Von never made a song, bro? That would have been raw as hell. No, I don't know. That probably would have been different as hell. Y'all let me know if y'all think that would have been a raw collab or something. That would have been real different. I ain't gonna lie. Because they had got two totally different styles on game.
Skills. With it, he proved that he belonged on the Billboard charts. But then, everything came plummeting down as his constant run-ins with the law caught up with him. Now, Pooh Shiesty is all set to spend 5 years behind bars. And well, there's a lot of chatter about how things will be when he gets out. In this video, we're going to be doing a complete rundown of what went down with Pooh Shiesty, how he ended up in prison, and how likely it is he will still have a career once he's out. So without further ado, let's skip the play and get down to business. Before we get into Pooh Shiesty's arrest and all, we have to dial it back to where the guy first popped off at. Pooh Shiesty was born Lontrell Donnell Williams Jr. on November 8, 1999. He was born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee, and lived there for 16 years before momentarily moving to Texas. After spending 2 years in Texas, he realized that Memphis was where he ultimately belonged and decided to go back to his roots. Like many children that grew up on the streets of Memphis, Lontrell too fell into a life of crime. It was all too normal for him. He was out on the streets allegedly assaulting people at a very young age, but when you think about it, you could chalk it all up to the hard life on the streets. Get into that life of crime just because that's all they know. It's all they seen. The ones that make it out of this life tend to stay out of it. That's why there's so much focus on making it out of the streets, especially in today's world where you can actually get to have opportunities that will effectively pull you out of that hard life. That's exactly what happened with Lontrell. In early 2019, Lontrell took on a stage named Pooh Shiesty.
I ain't gonna lie. Sometime in it's 2024 now. Wait, let me look. Y'all listen back to what he said, and then I'm gonna tell y'all how I feel, cause I got something to say about these kids in today's time, cause they don't even feel like they be trying to make it out the streets for real. Let me show y'all. Listen to what he said, and I'm gonna tell y'all how these kids is now.
Can actually get to have opportunities making it out of the streets, especially in today's life, tend to stay out of it. That's why there's so much focus on making it out of the streets, especially in today's world where you can actually get to have opportunities that will effectively pull you out of that hard life.
Man, now look, people that's really from the streets be trying to make it out, but it seems like a lot of these kids nowadays, they don't even be having to be in the streets. They don't even be from the streets. They don't even be born into the streets. They'll be born in the suburbs, in the mansion house, go grab them a hot car and slide to the hood and say they from the hood. Like, what's your point, bro? Your parents did all this work so you didn't have to be in the hood, and you gon' like, yeah, I don't feel like kids these days be trying to make it out the streets for real. They have to be capping on gang, but no, though, it is too many opportunities. So if you still in the streets, it's too many opportunities out here to be getting money, bro. A lot of free money out here. Motherfuckers just gotta grind. The streets is fast money, but that shit will catch up to you, bro.
Exactly what happened with Lontrell. In early 2019,
there's a lot of legal, easy, fast money out here that motherfuckers could be getting, especially on the internet.
Lontrell took on a stage named Pooh Shiesty and released his first single called Hell Night featuring Big 30. Even though it was his first single, it got a lot of attention, encouraging Pooh to keep going and keep making music. The following year, he came out with his street hits like Shiesty Summer and ABCGE. These singles were enough to turn some important heads, one of which was Gucci Mane. Gucci thought that Pooh had the potential to make it big, so he signed him onto his record label 1017 Records, along with Atlantic Records in 2020. Just a few singles in and this guy was already with the big guys. He didn't just make it in and sit around on the bench. He was out there, front and center, for almost everything Gucci was releasing. It all started off with the song Still Remember, which really put Pooh Shiesty on the map for most people. With Back in Blood featuring Lil Durk, he shot into new levels of fame that people weren't really expecting from an artist that was so new. Because of all of that hard work he put in, he wasn't just an artist anymore. Gucci Mane literally considered him as his own little brother. It was clear that if Pooh kept doing what he was doing, he'd be an unstoppable force. He made it bigger than pretty much anyone that had come up in the last 2 year span. But that's the key here. He was supposed to keep going the way he was, but he didn't. He was still a man and loved waving a gun around even though he didn't need to. Everyone knows that Pooh Shiesty has already been a sneakerhead, but on October 13th, 2020, he was allegedly going to buy some high-end shoes from an exclusive reseller in Bay Harbor Islands, Florida. Men's shoes can get fairly expensive, so it's not uncommon for people to want to score a good deal on them. It seems like that's what Pooh was trying to do. He and the seller agreed to meet outside a condo parking lot to figure the deal out. Pooh got out the car, and a few minutes later, the men at the scene broke into absolute chaos. There was gunfire, and shortly after, the men dispersed, and Pooh along with his crew fled the scene. When the cops got there, they found 2 men that had been shot and had to be taken to the hospital immediately. The main problem here was the fact that at this point, the cops didn't know who the person that shot the men and ran away was. That's because Pooh and his crew came in a rented car, so it wasn't that easy to trace it back immediately. They had to get the information from the rental company on who had given him the very unique highlighter green car. It was confirmed later on that the rapper did in fact rent the car and that he was the one that allegedly shot the men. One of the biggest identifiers here was
the car that he rented, bro. That wasn't that smart. Unless you had like a fake ID. I ain't trying to put y'all on game like doing illegal stuff, but unless you had like a fake ID or something, or like, you know, it wasn't in nobody's name, why is you doing that in your name? Like, that's not smart. That's not smart. Yeah, that's not smart, man.
Fact that as Pooh ran away, he dropped a bag full of $40,000, but that part really wasn't visible in the security footage they found of the whole event. So how did the authorities figure out who did it? Well, they analyzed the individual bank notes and then compared them to the notes Pooh had been flexing on his Instagram. The serial number on the notes matched, and since he had also posted a lot of pictures with the car he had rented, it was clear that the information the cops were getting was correct, and it was Pooh on the scene, and it was him that ran away after shooting the 2 men. After identification was confirmed, Pooh was arrested, but had his own story ready to go. He told the cops that he just went to get the shoes, but the men tried to steal the money he had brought instead, and then they shot the first bullet. He was only acting in self-defense when he shot them back. In the panic of it all, he dropped the bag and fled for his life, not just the scene of the crime. That didn't really end up going over so well, though, and he was still charged for the armed robbery along with aggravated battery with a weapon, plus aggravated assault with a firearm and petty theft for the shootout. However,
Come out here and petty theft. No, that's crazy. They, bro. That's one thing about dealing with the law. You do something, they make that shit sound crazy. Even though that shit was crazy, they make that shit sound 1,000 times worse. I swear to God, you could, bro. I remember back in high school. I was finna give y'all an example, but I'm gonna just give y'all a real story time. Back in high school, I got booked with like 5 of my homies for stealing out of Walmart. And bro, we didn't even do nothing for real, but they made that shit sound so terrible. First off, low key, if I had the knowledge that I got now, or that I had 10 minutes after that situation, I would have low key ran. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give y'all a story time tomorrow, a whole video story time. But if you watching this, I'm gonna give you a story time right now on gang. You get the inside of it, a little gist. But look, basically, we was inside of Walmart. We walk in Walmart. All right, so look, I ain't gonna say no names because that's federal. But me and my homie, you know, we always used to go up there, get what we wanted, you know, go to self-checkout, do what we do, leave that bit. I go with my other homies this time. Bro, I'm the only one that usually do this shit, you know? And my other homie, he do this shit with us too a little bit. But the other 3-4 people, they don't usually do this shit. Bro, I grab some shit, you know, start eating some shit in the store while we just walking around. They get to grabbing hella shit, making a whole scene, running around the store, doing all type of shit. We in that bitch tea, but motherfuckers taking hella shit, you know, putting shit in their pockets, all type of shit that I didn't even know. But one of my homies was so oblivious, he didn't know we was doing none of this shit. I don't know how. I think he just thought we was eating the snacks at the beginning. He didn't know motherfuckers was taking shit. Because when the police caught us at the end when we was leaving out the store, and they had us go to the little back room and shit, they said they thought we was gonna run. You know, if we'd have ran, it would have been good. But my homie didn't know we had none of that shit, which is crazy. But yeah, though, that should be crazy.
Released from custody that same day. You'd think that Pooh would thank his lucky stars at this point and not even come close to guns with the 10-foot pole. But that's not how things went. He just can't get away from the straps, man. Less than a year after the initial
I love
Envato Elements.
I love Envato Elements because not only does it inspire me.
Initial arrest, Pooh was arrested again, and this time because of something insanely stupid. While performing at a nightclub in Northwest Miami-Dade, Pooh started waving his gun around. He was doing so as a part of his act, but it didn't really go over well with the guards on the scene because you're not supposed to be doing that. When they came over and told him to put the gun away, he refused and started waving the gun in their faces instead. All of that went a little too far, and after the guards had it with Pooh, things escalated and Pooh ended up shooting one of the guards allegedly. There was a few conflicting stories floating.
Bro, why this nigga Pooh Shiesty sound like a crash out or something? Like, this nigga just be wildin'. Like, bro, what the fuck? His ass is crazy. Oh, God. This man is different. Bro, did y'all just hear that story? Let me replay that real quick, see if I'm tripping. I must not have heard that right, bro.
In Northwest Miami-Dade, Pooh started waving his gun around. He was doing so as a part of his act, but it didn't really go over well with the guards on the scene because you're not supposed to be doing that. When they came over,
why would you be waving your gun around in front of the guards and shit? Like, bro, why? Like, what's your point, though?
And told him to put the gun away, he refused and started waving the gun in their faces instead.
Like, what the fuck? That's a whole threat. I would take that as a threat, bro. Like, what you put your gun in my face? Bro, that's a whole threat, bro. I wouldn't take that light. I ain't gonna cap. Like, he must have been off some, like, he must have been high or something. He had to be, because what?
That went a little too far, and after the guards had it with Pooh, things escalated, and Pooh ended up shooting one of the guards allegedly.
Oh, shit. That nigga not fucking around. Pooh Shiesty is not playing around. He not fucking around on bro.
Stories floating around at this point. Some said that Pooh was robbed on stage, that someone had taken money right out of his pocket. The number we're talking about here is around $40,000, but Pooh denied that on his Instagram story. Regardless, he did shoot a guard and had to be arrested for it anyway. He was escorted out of the club and handed over to the authorities, who arrested him and took him into custody. Now things got a little shady here too. For starters, the guard that was shot, at first he was very clear about everything that happened. He said that Pooh shot him while flailing wads of cash around, but a few hours after Pooh's arrest, he miraculously forgot everything and couldn't clearly remember what happened, rendering his initial statement as useless. Normally when this happens, the person that's arrested gets to make it out of the whole ordeal scot-free, but that's not what happened with Pooh. He was held in jail, and then he saw the judge for his case, and the bond was set at $10,000.
Entitled to a bond, the standard bond is $10,000, and that's what I'm setting. The $10,000 bond with the hold for the division judge. Case number, hold him for case number F20-14135B. And you'll see your judge tomorrow, 9 a.m. All right?
Thank you. And he was supposed to see another.
And you'll see your judge
like
tomorrow,
he's not worried.
9 a.m. All right?
Thank you. And he was supposed
like
to see
10,000,
another
that's light
judge
as
for his
hell.
Penn to Miami shootout case as well. Everyone thought he'd be out in minutes because that's what happened last time for the same case. But this time things didn't go his way like they had months before leading up to this. When he saw the judge, seeing that he had just gone from waving his gun around shooting one person to the next, there had to be serious consequences. On July 8th, 2021, judge ordered that Pooh Shiesty be held without bond for the case pending trial. Even at that point, everybody thought he'd make it out of the whole thing once the case wrapped up, but that didn't happen either. On January 4th, 2022, he pleaded guilty to federal conspiracy charges, and he was looking at spending 8 years in prison. However, when it came to sentencing 4 months later, he got 63 months instead, which is 5 years and 3 months. This was a pretty shocking turn of events, to say the least, because of the way he had been weaseling his way out of the trouble for the past couple years. But then again, if you do the crime, you have to do the time at some point. The question that lies in front of us now is what's going to happen to Pooh Shiesty's career when he gets out. Well, with the era of technology, there's a lot that one can do to keep their career going while locked up. Pooh announced that he's going to be dropping a mixtape with a lot of major artists. It's likely that it's just material that was unused from his earlier releases being mixed in with stuff from other rappers. But not only that, but he's had an NFT drop with Web3 streetwear brand Smiles too. That alone will keep him relevant for the next year or two. Granted, he stays on his best behavior, he'll definitely be home a couple years early. But if he doesn't, and the world moves on without him, chances are he might not be able to stay relevant enough because of how short his career actually was. But all that depends on what he's like when he's out and the industry he returns to. It's possible that he might just be even bigger than he was before, or completely disappear at the end and end up being one of those forgotten rappers and has-beens that come and go throughout time.
Y'all think he
gonna there you have it.
How y'all think he gonna be? I think he gonna be a forgotten rapper. I think he gonna come back strong. Cause he look, bro. You gotta think about it. He just went in there all that time. He clicked up with Lil Durk with OTF, bro. Lil Durk, one of the biggest artists in the industry. Gucci, the biggest artist back in the day. He clicked up with some of the biggest people. When he get out, he gonna have a big return. Y'all is tweaking on gang. But y'all let me know what y'all think about that. And if y'all think he gonna have a big return, drop it in the comments. If y'all think he gonna fall off, drop that shit in the comments. Let me know, bro.